in a hole in the ground, sandy hole, but a hobbit hole, and that meant comfort. It had a perfectly round door, painted green, which opened out into a tunnel-shaped hall. It had floors, tiled and carpeted, and hats, and pegs for hats and coats.
I'm very fond of the visitors, you see.
And he was quite well-to-do.
Ah, yes, we'll have a bit put by for a rainy day.
They had good-natured faces.
Oh, thank you very much.
But there is a little magic about them. It's always been said that long ago, one of the two...
My mother was the famous Belladonna too.
One of the Tooks had married into a brave family. Once in a while, members of the clan would have adventures. It's very probable that Bilbo got something a bit strange in his makeup from the Took's side. Something that was only waiting for a chance to come out.
Bilbo had almost forgotten about Gandalf. The incident had made him very flustered at the time, and he'd forgotten to write down T. Gandalf, 4 p.m. on his engagement tablet. Just before tea time, there was a tremendous knocking at the door. And
Back at your service.
That you, Val, come and have some tea. A little bit of cream, and it's all tea. And some tea, have you?
Yes. Lots. Get stuck in. Must be getting out this time for sure. Good afternoon. This must be the house. What can I do for you, my dwarves? Keenly at your service. At yours. And your families.
We haven't been here already. Let's join us one.
For all. Don't like the sound of that.
I can feel fresh baked bread and butter. Delicious.
And yours. Suppose I better get some more cups and saucers. If that's your dwarves, I am going to come, Bilbo. My beauty friend, waking up and close that and open the door and pop gun. Friends! We've got a purple bomber and thorn over you. At your service. I do beg your pardon. Let me help you off. Don't mention it. Maybe go in. I think you're the laugh, all right?
Yes, of course. But, Mr. Gandalf, why have you brought
Bilbo, you must not speak disrespectfully of these dwarves, especially Thorin. He is great Thorin Oakenshield, grandson of the last king under the mountain. Come, let us join him. This is a very good tea, Mr. Baggins.
Best tea for Reese? Yeah.
And I suppose you'll all be staying for supper.
Of course.
Yes. Of course. And after that, we shall not get through business till late. But let's have some music. Yes. Ready? Now for our song.
As they sang, Bilbo began to fall along. Beautiful things that they can't even imagine. Right of things. It must have been the Took's idea. Suddenly, he wished to see for himself the great mountains, the pine trees, the waterfalls, and to carry a star instead of a stick. He could see the stars in the dark sky, and he thought of the jewels, the dwarfs, and their dark palaces. All at once, in the woods, probably someone lighting a fire. He thought of planting there, set a fire to his quiet hill. It was quite disturbed. He got up, partly thinking to fetch flowers, partly thinking he was hot in the cellar.
What are you doing, Baggins? What's about to look light? Dark business. And there are many hours before dawn. Of course. Let Thorin speak. Gandalf, dwarves, and Mr. Baggins. We met in the house of our fellow conspirators, an excellent and audacious hobbit. Audacious? We are met to discuss ways, means, policies, and devices to the excellent Mr. Baggins. dragon at a pinch.
What did you think? I mean, it's all very well for you to say things cliffs, but a street like that can make a dragon do the last of us.
Yeah. I think so, right, frightened excitement. As soon as I clapped my eyes up on the stone, I had my day.
Yeah.
Let's have no more arguments.
Arguments.
You asked me to choose the 14th for your expedition, and I chose Mr. Baggins. There's a lot more in him than you guessed, and a deal more than you had any idea of himself.
Yes, but
Just did anyone say I chose the wrong man, and you can go back, and you can stop at 13, and have all the bad luck and go back digging coal. No more arguments.
Bilbo, although scared half out of his wits, had nevertheless heard most of the dwarf's comments about his ability to do the job, and was quite upset. To think that he, Bilbo Baggins, son of the most famous Belladonna Took, was being branded as a coward. For the sake of family honor, he must pull himself together and show the dwarves what he was really made of. With a tremendous effort, he staggered to his feet and said, in a faltering voice,
first, I just like to know a little bit about things. Yes, I mean about gold and where it came from, who it belongs to, dragons and so forth. Bless me! Have you heard a song? Have you talking about for hours? All the same, Majesty, Thor, I should like it pretty clear. I should like to know about risks, expenses, remuneration, and so forth. Oh, very well. Long ago, in my grandfather's time, our family was driven out from far north and came south to a mountain called Lonely Mountain. There, in mines, tunnels made huge holes and workshops. He found a good deal of gold jewels too. He grew rich and famous. My grandfather was king under the mountain, and was treated with great reverence by the mortal men of the town of Dale. There was without doubt the gold and the jewels that brought the dragon to the mountain. Dragon steals them, and guards as long as he lived, which is practically forever. There were lots of dragons in those days, and especially a strong, wicked, greedy dragon called Small. One day, he flew south. He came like hurricanes, the pines creaking and cracking in the wind. We saw him setting the slope, and then he came, setting the slope on fire. All the bells in Dale were ringing, and the warriors were arming. The people rushed out to the great gate, but there he was, waiting, and none escaped. There were loads of dwarves left alive inside the mountain, and the dragons left all their wealth. The only ones to survive were those who were outside at the time. And since then, we've had to earn our living as gold miners or blacksmiths. But even now, we're a bit laid back, and I'm not too badly off. But we're still the time to get back our treasure! Yes! And bring back the goblins and Smog!
Yes, we're a little light now, I think. I'll get the lamp. I want you all to see this. What is the mountain? It is indeed a plan on the Lonely Mountain. There you go, your grandfather, Thor.
Let me see. I don't feel this will be much good. I know the mountain well. And when the dragon was bred,
Your grandfather was killed by a goblin in the mines of Moria. But before he died, he gave it to your father, who was determined to get the treasure. And many adventures of a most unpleasant sort he had, but he never got to the Lonely Mountain.
where did you find it?
I found him a prisoner in the dungeons of a necromancer. He had completely lost his wits and could remember nothing. His only wish was for his son to get it. Oh, and with the map came the key. Take it, Thorn.
Wow! It's silver! And curious,
perhaps. You must keep it safe.
Indeed I will. Things begin to look more hopeful.
You must start to make plans.
I think we should go east as far as Long Lake. After that, trouble.
That would be useless. I tried to find you a warrior, but they're all too busy fighting each other. That is why I sent for Burgundy when I found the secret door. And here is our little burglar, Mr. Bilbo Baggins.
Burglar!
I say you're a burglar. Or will be when the time comes.
Well, heaven, mate, burglar expert, give me a thumb.
I hear! Speak up. Well, that's enough search for one. I think I would like to start with you all the world was good. I'll see you have a lovely breakfast before you get off. You mean before we go? Yeah, that's a crack the place. Love the nice. But I think I forgot my pocket handkerchief. And my hat. That's good enough for any walking before you reach the street then. Here, I've got very close to the place. That was the hat. Here's Ganda. Here's Ganda. Ganda.
Here are Bilbo, pipe, tobacco, and handkerchief.
Thank you together. Very lots of you. And now, the adventure starts with friends. Off we go. But where are we going, Mr. George? There and back, friends. There and back again.
People generally say,
Fire right.
other side of the table. Right then, friends, off we go.
And now, the adventure starts with friends. Off we go.
Where are we going? Mr. Thorpe?
There and back, my friends. There and back again.
The journey east continued uneventfully for 3 more days. On the 3rd day, they came to a green valley on the far side of which lay the misty mountains.
You killed the spotlight surrounded there. May I have the spotlight back, please? Stand up, Marcus, and wait for
The journey east continued uneventfully for 3 more days. On the 3rd day, they came to a green valley on the far side of which lay the misty mountains.
Until she takes her seat.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
That was just useless.
changing, scene changing. People are supposed to know exactly what they're coming on for and exactly what they're going off with. Props, you should have the cloth ready with the goblets and the flagons for these people to be able to find them. Not for them to take 5 minutes hunting for them behind the curtains. Didn't even see sight of the village. Let's go through that again at the end. Right, Jim.
Okay, so that's a page, Gemma, and I'll do.
Can you go back to your entrance wall? Right wall.
Because it's got to get up to that. Can't sit with your head down like that.
Right wall.
We have now come to the very edge of the wilds. Before you is the fair valley of Brindale, where Elrond lives in the last country house. Where are you, Ray? Is Elrond an elf? No, but she's an elf friend, and that's good enough for us. It's not an elf. It is us. You can only see them unless they want you to. Not an A hobbit! Astonishing! Wonderful! Welcome to our valley. Thank you. They nothing but steal and laughter. I think they sound enchanting. Poor would never be all the bells. Elf too does himself to us. We have more magic than us. You live out of your way to leave for Aaron's house.
But we will set you right.
Don't get your beard wet, old man.
Be quiet, Horn. We have already arrived at Elrond's house. Good day, people. Did you try to say what's wrong with your overbearing tongue?
Welcome, Lord. Welcome, Lord.
See? Elrond, wait.
Welcome to my house. Please, be seated.
Elrond was as fair of face as an elf lord, as strong as a warrior, and as kind as a summer. His house made a perfect resting
This is
place.
what we want to be not spotlight. Get yourself out.
Elrond, with as fair as face as an elf lord, as strong as a warrior, and as kind as a summer. His house made a perfect resting place for the travellers. Bilbo would have gladly stayed forever. They had not been able to discover the meanings on the strange markings in the troll's swords, and so, on Midsummer's Eve, that night, before the departure, Thorin, what they might mean.
This sword is not troll-made. It's very old, made by the elves of Gondolin. It must be from Wakanda. The goblins destroyed Gondolin long ago. This sword, according to the symbol hilt, is called Portrait. It was a famous blade. Yours, Gandalf, is called Landring.
Landrin, once worn by the King of Gondolin himself.
All creatures don't have too ancient and powerful weapons.
I shall wear this sword with honor. The awkward soon be goblins again!
Yes! I don't altogether approve the love of gold jewels for best, but small must be destroyed, and the very town dare defend. Show me the map for us. The signs indicating the secret door on the side of the mountain, say 5 feet high and 3 may walk abreast.
Is there anything else?
Let me take you to the moon. Oh, I thought as much.
Moon letters?
Yes. What are moon letters? Moon letters are letters that can only be seen when the paper is held up to the moon. Fortunately, there is a moon tonight.
Ah, yes. But Bilbo!
The moon letters read, "Stand by this great stone where the frost knocks, and the setting sun of the last red dawn day will shine upon the keyhole." Dynasty?
Dynasty is when the last moon and sun of autumn are in the sky together. But it may not occur for many years. That remains easy. Is there anything else?
Not to be seen by this moon. And now, my friends, let's watch the elves dance on this joyous midsummer eve. The people who spend all of their power to helping you for the next stage of your journey.
From the narrator's bit, can you light up the narrator and light down the gas, please? Thanks. End of your oration.
Midsummer moons are bright and clear. Blue skies and swans dancing on the water. Gandalf, the dwarf, and Bernard Wilbur bids farewell to the people of Winter. He starts up the foothills of the misty mountains.
Try again. Can you say your goodbye, not around with you now, but when you're lit up? Angela?
And starts up the foothills of the misty mountains. It was a hard and dangerous call.
Let's storm! Contract off! Yes, when the big ring is stone giants out, if we get in the way of one of their boulders, it'll be the end of us. Fine! Fine! Go ahead and see who can find shelter! A dry cave! One quick edge! Let's put this wall! If we do get struck by lightning, we'll be picked up by one of these stone giants and kicked sky high like a football! I have a feeling the storm is no accident. We must get under cover. Everybody follow Brandon and Ballard! Sam, now you have to keep going right away to do that. Okay?
Well, things they went on. Working something big, bigger after all of it.
No, well done, Ballard and Ballard. Everybody follow Ballard and Ballard. Look at those thunder clouds, Lord. The storm is already upon us. The storm can't touch off. Yes, the main bring the stone giants out. We get in the way of one of their boulders. It will be the end of us. Ballard! Ballard! Go ahead and see if you can find some shelter. A dry cave will take them. Oh, this will be cool. If we do get struck by lightning, we should be picked up by one of these stone giants and kicked sky high like a football. I have a feeling this storm is no accident. We must get under cover. We can't take them out of Ottawa. Everybody follow Brandon and Ballard.
In a hole in the ground lived a hobbit, and that meant comfort. It had a perfectly round door, painted green, which opened out into a tunnel-shaped hall, with floors, tiled and carpeted, and pegs for hats and coats.
I'm very fond of the visitors, you see.
And he was quite well-to-do.
Ah, yes, well, I'm a bit put by for a rainy day.
They had good-natured faces.
Oh, thank you very much. But there is a little magic about him. It has always been said that long ago one of the Tooks, my mother, was the famous Belladonna Took. One of the Tooks had married into a fairy family. Once in a while, members of the clan took adventures. It's very probable that Bello got some bit strange with makeup from the Took's side. Something that was only waiting for a chance to come out. One morning, long ago, Bello was sitting at a store when Gandalf the wizard came by.
Good morning.
What do you mean? Do you wish me a good morning? Or do you mean that it is a good morning whether I want it or not? Or that you feel good this morning?
All of them at once, I suppose. If you have a piping party, do have a bona fide tobacco. There's no hurry. We have all day.
You may have all day, but I do not. I'm looking for someone to share an adventure I'm arranging. Very difficult to find anyone.
Searching think in these parts. We're quiet folk around here. No use for adventures. Nasty, disturbing, uncomfortable things. You might try on the hill, across the water. Good morning.
What sort of thing do you use good morning for? Do you mean that you're only good until you got rid of me?
Oh, not at all, my dear sir. Let me see. I don't think I know your name.
Yes, my dear sir, but I know yours. Mr. Bilbo Baggins, I about me, even if it's only my fireworks. For the sake of your grandfather Took, and for the sake of your mother Belladonna, I will give you what you asked for.
I beg your pardon? I haven't asked for anything.
Yes, you have. Twice. My pardon. And I give it to you. Indeed, I'll go so far as to send you on this adventure. And good for you. And profitable. Very likely if you ever get over it.
If I ever get over, oh, no adventures here. Not today. I'm already on the police. Come to tea. Yes, that's right, tea. You know, anytime. Come tomorrow. Yes, that's right, tomorrow. Good morning.
Forgotten about Gandalf. Incident had made him very flustered at the time, and he'd forgotten to write down T. Gandalf, 4 p.m. on his engagement tablet. Just before tea time, there was a tremendous knocking at the door. And then he remembered.
Tea! Oh, fog. Good afternoon. Sorry to have kept you. Good afternoon. Welcome what? At your service. Could I have your blue cup? Is the tea ready? Yes. I was just taken by me. Please do. Take two if you like. Excuse me. Oh, I see plants here. I'll come right for next to it. Valen, at your service. Like me, Valen. Come and have some tea. A little bit for me. It is all the same to you. I can see you have me. Yes. Lots. Get stuck in. Must be Gandalf this time. This must be the house. What can I do for you, my dwarves? Keep me at your service. At yours. And your family's still here already. Let's join the throng. I don't like the sight of that. I can smell fresh bread and butter. Delicious. Let me help you off. Mention it!
May we go in? I think we're the last, all right.
Yes. Mr. Gandalf. Why have you...
Bilbo, you must not speak disrespectfully of these wolves, especially Thorin. He is the great Thorin Oakenshield, grandson of their last king under the mountain. Come, let us join him.
This is a very good tea, Mr. Baggins. Best tea for weeks. And I suppose you'll all be staying for supper? Of course. And after that, you shall not get drunk until late. But let's have some music. Ready? Now for At this time, Philip began to love. Beautiful things made the comic and magic magic. It must have been too exciting.
turn to speak.
Gandalf, dwarves, and Mr. Baggins. We are met in the house of our fellow conspirator, an excellent and audacious Hobbit.
Audacious!
We are met to discuss ways, means, policies, and devices to the excellent Mr. Baggins. The exact situation will require a brief explanation, but before long, we shall start upon a long journey, from which some of us may never return. Never return! It is a solemn moment. Our object is well known to all of us.
Oh, never return.
Mr. Baggins!
Excitable, fellows. Get one of the best, but one of the best. Fierce as a dragon at the pinch.
Believe me, Mr. Pig, I may do very well for you to take this fit, but a shriek like that is waking dragons and philosophers.
My pick sounds more like frightening excitement. As soon as I clapped my eyes on the fellow, I had my day.
Let's have no more argument.
Argument?
You asked me to choose the 14th to expedition, and I chose Mr. Baggins. He's a lot more than you guess, and a deal more than has any idea of himself. Yes, but if there's anyone's day I chose the wrong man, and you can stop at 13, and have all the bad luck and go back digging coal. No more arguments.
Bilbo, although half scared out of his wits, had nevertheless heard most of the dwarf's comments about his ability to do the job, and was most upset to think that he, Bilbo Baggins, was being branded as a coward. For the sake of family honour, he must pull himself together and show the dwarfs what he was really made of. With one tremendous effort, he staggered to his feet and said in a faltering voice,
First, I should like to know a little bit about things.
Things.
Yes, I mean about gold and who it belongs to and where it came from and dragons.
Let me! Haven't you heard of gold? Haven't you been talking about it for hours?
All the same, Majesty, Thorn. I should like it plain and clear. I should like to know about risks, expenses, time required, and remuneration.
Oh, very well. Long ago, in my grandfather's time, our family was driven out to the far north and came south to a mountain called Lonely Mountain. There they mined, tunneled and made huge halls and workshops. They found a good deal of gold and jewels too. They grew rich and famous. My grandfather was king on the mountain and was treated with great reverence by the mortal men of the town of Dale. It was without doubt the gold and the jewels that brought the dragons to the mountain. Dragons steal treasure and guard it as long as they live, which is practically forever. There were lots of dragons in those days, and especially a strong, wicked, greedy dragon too small. One day, he flew south and came like a hurricane to find cooking and cracking in the wind. We saw him setting a slope, and then he came, setting the slopes on fire. All the bells and guilds were ringing, and the warriors were armed. The dwarves rushed out of the great gate, but there he was, waiting, and none escaped. After that, there were no dwarf left alive inside the mountain, and the people kept all their wealth. The only ones to survive were those who were outside at the time, and since then, we've had to earn a living as coal miners or blacksmiths. But we're still determined to get back our treasure!
Yeah!
Bring back the classics to small!
Yes, but a little light now, I think. I'll get the lamp.
It is indeed a plan of the Lonely Mountain, made by your grandfather, Thorn.
Let me see. I don't see how this will do much good. I know the mountain well, and where the dragons bred.
Your grandfather was killed by a goblin in the mines of Moria, but before he died, he gave it to your father, who was determined to get the treasure. And lots of adventures of the most unpleasant sort he had, but he never got to the Lonely Mountain.
Where did you find him?
I found him a prisoner in the dungeons of the necromancer. He'd completely lost his wits and could remember nothing. His only wish was for his son to receive the map. Oh, and with the map came a key. Take it, Thorn.
Whoa! It's silver! And purity raw! Is it the key to the secret door?
Perhaps. You must keep it safe.
Indeed I will.
Things begin to look more hopeful. We must start to make plans. I think we should go east, as far as the long lake. After that, probably.
That would be useless. I tried to find you a warrior, but they're all too busy fighting each other. That is why I set up a burglary when I found the secret door. And here is our little burglar, Mr. Bilbo Baggins.
Burglar!
I say you're a burglar, or will be when the time comes.
Well, how about your burglar expert figure from ideas?
Yes, well, speak up. That's enough discussion for one night. I think an early bed and an early start will do us all the world of good. I see you have a lovely breakfast before you go.
You mean before we go?
Check the glasses and crack the plates. Load the knives and bend the forks. That's what Bilbo Baggins makes. Smash the bottles and burn the cakes.
It was long after daybreak from home to work. The dwarves had gone, as it left a great deal of clearing up to be done. And it was the middle of the morning before Bilbo finally settled down to his breakfast. Well, I think I'll have a cup of tea and then I'll be
My dear Bilbo,
Gandalf!
whenever are you going to come? The dwarves couldn't wait any longer. They left you a message.
Message? What message? What you talking about?
Well, I didn't see you on for yourself this morning. You invited the table you'd have found this.
Huh? My good people.
Bilbo. Greetings. Thank you for your hospitality and offer of assistance, which we gratefully accept. Terms: cash on delivery not exceeding 1/14 of the treasure. Travelling expenses guaranteed. Funeral expenses to be defrayed by us. Funeral expenses! We have proceeded in advance and shall await you at the Green Dragon Inn by the water at 11 a.m. Thorn is code.
That leaves you 10 minutes. You're going to have to run.
It's fine!
No time's gone. Off you go.
The end of days, Bilbo will never remember how he found himself outside his house, without warm clothes, money, or even a walking stick, running as fast as he could down the lake, which was appointed with the dwarves, and start upon the greatest adventure of his life.
Here, I have a spare coat at home. That'll do the hat. Here is Gandalf!
Here you are, Bilbo. Pipe, tobacco, and handkerchief.
Thank you, Mr. Gandalf. Very thoughtful of you.
And now, The train stopped, the train. Off we go! Off where we going, Mr. Thorne? There I'm back, my friend. There I'm back again.
The journey east continued uneventfully for 3 more days. On the 3rd day, they came to a green valley, on the far side of which lay the misty mountains.
Before you is the fair valley of Rivendell, where Elrond lives, the last moving house. We are expecting.
Is Elrond an elf?
No, but she's an elf friend, and that's good enough for us. Smells like elves. It is elves. You can only see them unless they want you to.
No, no! Hobbit! Astonishing! Wonderful! Welcome to our valley.
Thank you.
But there's nothing better to do than laugh at us. I think he's so enchanted.
What? Never should talk with elves. Elves can fill up themselves if you ask me. Because they have more magic than us.
You're little out of your way. You're looking for Aaron's house.
But we will set you right.
You open the fridge, but don't get your beard sweat on there.
Be quiet, Lauren. We have already arrived at Elrond's house. Good day, people. Did you try to send us along with your overbearing tongues?
Welcome,
Elrond the waiter.
Welcome to my house. Please be seated.
Elrond was as fair of face as an elf lord, as strong as a warrior, and as kind as a summer. His house made a perfect resting place for the weary travellers. Bilbo would have gladly stayed forever. They had not been able to discover the meanings on the strange markings of the troll's sword, and so, on Midsummer's Eve, that night before the departure, Thorin asked Elrond what they might mean.
This sword is not troll-made. It's very old. Made by the elves of Gondolin. It must be from
Slandering, once worn by the King of Gondolin himself.
Orcs and bowhammers, too ancient and powerful weapons.
I shall wear the sword of honor. May opera soon leave Goblin again!
I don't altogether approve of the love of gold yours possess, but small must be destroyed, and many times they'll avenge. Show me the map, Lauren. The sign indicates the secret door on the side of the mountain. Be 5 feet tall and 3 over grass.
Is there anything else?
Let me take you to the moon. Oh, I thought as much.
Moon letters?
Yes. What are moon letters? Moon letters, Lobo, are letters which can only be seen when the paper is held up to the moon. Fortunately, there's a moon tonight. Yes, I see.
Bilbo!
Moon letters read, stand by the great stone when brushed not, and the setting sun on the last light of dawn's day will shine upon the keyhole. Dynasty. What's dynasty?
Dynasty is when the last moon and sun of autumn are in the sky together.
But they may not occur for many years.
That remains to be seen. Is there anything else, Oliver?
Not to be seen by this moon. And now, my friends, let us feast on this joyous midsummer eve. The people in this valley do all in their power to hearten you for the next stage of your journey. Down the hill.
Look at this thunder cloud, Thorn! The storm is already upon us! Let's go! Come, Jar! Yes, but they're leaving the snow giants out! We get in the way of one of those boulders. It will be the end of us. Burn it! Go ahead and see if you can find some shelter! Try to keep on living! This won't do at all! If we don't get
goblins drive dwarves and bilbo, with them merciful and pinching and whipping. It was pitch dark. The paths they followed were crossed and tangled in all directions. Then there came a glimmer of red light, which became stronger, until at last they entered a vast cavern. The light was from torches hung in the wall. On raised black stone sat the evil goblin chief.
You are these miserable teachers!
What? Oh, great goblin!
We found him searching on our porch, almighty one.
Our porch? What do you mean by it? Who are you? Murderers and friends of elves, no doubt. Now let's have the truth, or I will prepare something particularly uncomfortable for you.
I'm sorry, Logan Shield. I established. We are on our way to the relatives on the east side of these truly hospitable mountain.
He is a liar, the truly tremendous one. Several of our people were struck by lightning in the cave when we invited these creatures to come down below, and they are now dead as stone.
It is not explained to sword.
So, let me see.
The brighter the sword, the closer the enemy. Come, we must hurry.
The horrible noises came nearer. It soon became clear the goblins were gaining on them.
Tiny room. It was a turning point in the Hobbit's career, but he did not know it at the time. Oh, why did the others leave me behind? How did the goblins miss me? What now? No going back. Go forward. Seems the only thing to do. Oh, I'm bleeding. Water. Oh no! What if it's a pool? Or a deep lake? I can't swim!
Deep down here by the dark water lived Gollum, a small, slimy creature. I do not know where he came from, nor who or what he was. He was a golem, as dark as darkness, with two big, round, pale eyes and his thin face. He was watching Bilbo now from the distance with his pale eyes like a telescope.
Who are you? I'm Bilbo. Bilbo Baggins? I was the dwarf and the wizard. And I don't know where I am. Oh, okay. Why not? Easy. A mountain. Does it get easy?
Very well. Guess away. Wrong. Guess again. Wrong again. Last guess. Oh, come on! I'm waiting! Time's up! Alright! Now, what's the crazy promise? I'm sure you will.
he was very angry and hungry. He was a miserable, wicked creature, and he had a plan. In a hiding place on his island, in the middle of the lake, amongst a few wretched possessions, he had a beautiful thing, a ring of purest gold. How he had come by that ring so many moons ago, perhaps even the master who forged it could not have said.
Invisible. But Bilbo was too kind-hearted to kill Gollum in cold blood. Besides, he pitied the creature. Suddenly, he knew what to do. With one enormous effort, he jumped clean over Gollum, 3 feet in the air. Gollum sensed what was happening, but it was too late. He threw himself backwards, catching the air.
Bright sunlight. What was that? We must close the door. We've got to get through before they close. Stop. What's stopping the door closing? We must call for reinforcement. What? Trying to get out. I can see a shadow. One more squeeze.
Free at last. But I must run. The goblins will be on my heels any moment now. And I must find Gandalf and the dwarves.
Where are Gandalf and the dwarves? Perhaps I ought to go back and look for them. What was that?
Very well. Into the tales we marched, Bilbo.
As they plodded on, mile after mile, Bilbo told the dwarves about his adventure, but he did not tell them about the ring. Although, he'd wondered if Gandalf had guessed by the strange looks he'd been giving him. The sun dipped behind the mountains. They had reached the forest, and the gloom grew deeper and deeper.
By late afternoon, the travellers had reached Mirkwood and rested beneath the great overhanging boughs of trees. The place was dark and forbidding.
You could walk through the gap in the trees. Without warning, however. Under no circumstances must you leave the path. I hope you like a little bit. For now, I must leave you. Cheer up, all of you. Think of the treasure again.
Oh, Mr. Gandalf! Are you really leaving us?
If I am, Bilbo, this is your adventure. Here goes. Goodbye, Bilbo. Goodbye, Thorn. Goodbye, dwarves. Come, friends. Show your path. We must march to Mirkwood.
Narrow and twisting. It wound in and out of massive tree trunks, blackened and gnarled with age. The branches met above their heads, and the adventurers felt as though they were going through a long, gloomy tunnel. All was dark and menacing. The nights were pitch black, and they slept, huddled together, taking turns to keep watch. In the inky blackness, eyes would sometimes appear, green, yellow, and red. Finally, the last morsel of food was eaten. The last drop of water drank. The oak. Suddenly, from deep in the forest, a distant sound of tinkling bell.
move happily and quietly and fit close together. It's a beast. Wood elves. More dangerous and less wise than the high elves we have already met. But good people. Bilbo, you and I will unite ourselves to them and ask for I am Thorin, son of Strain, grandson of Straw, king of the man. What's happening? We mean no harm! Come back here! Wait! Wait for me!
For Bilbo, this is one of the most miserable moments of his life. He blundered around in darkness, calling the dwarves by name, time after time, until he was exhausted. He was alone in Mirkwood. He searched all night for his friends, unaware that he was going around in circles.
Botheration! Thank you, Doc, but we've got to lost the father now! Let's sit down a while, see if he's turned up. Now give us the back, now it's the rest. Don't hit us! I think it's wood out! I think the arm! Oh, but we're too tired to fight anymore. I did do the Hobbits. They are the elves. What is it you want?
Our king wishes to speak with you. You'll come fast, lay down your arms.
We mean you no harm, elves. Perhaps they brought food.
You're not supposed to be there, you must come alive. Our king wishes
These are the prisoners of the king. Indeed. There is no escape, dwarves, but you're born inside my magical kingdom. So what have we done? It is a crime to be lost in the forest. It is a crime to wander my realms without my leave. You cannot twice attack my people.
We never did!
You attacked my people! Murder in the forest! Now, what business have you here? Very well. I shall keep you all prisoners in my dungeon. Dungeons? So you all learn some manners. Take them away.
And what of Mr. Baggins? Still wandering around at daybreak? He was just in time to see his friends marched off as prisoners to the woodland elves. With the help of his magic ring, he was able to slip into the Elf King's palace. But what was he to do? He wandered about trying to find a way of rescuing the dwarves, and at last found Thorin in the deepest, darkest dungeon.
The dwarves all plotted together to rescue them, but he, although he thought and thought, couldn't come up with the rest of them. Then, one day, nosing around with his ring on it, he spied huge wine barrels, which were to be floated downstream to Lakehead, where men lived in the shadow of the Dragon's Mountain. It was a desperate plan, but he persuaded the dwarves. Their only chance was to escape from those same barrels.
With much huffing and puffing, heaving and grunting, Bilbo finally managed to squeeze all the dwarves into the empty barrels and secured the tops before the cellarmen returned. Then he slipped on his magic ring, and as the last barrel was rolled through the trapdoor, he took a deep breath and jumped into the icy water. Poor brave Bilbo spluttered and choked as he struggled to reach the barrel. He found it hard to cling on as it bounced and bobbed in the fast-flowing current. The barrels passed under the Elf King's palace and finally came to rest in the bank, in the bend of the river. Here, although battered and bruised, all the dwarves managed to scramble to safety. By the time they reached the lakeside town of Escalon, the sun was setting.
companion, a hobbit.
Master, speak then.
Let us have no more words, for your master will have something to say. Come, let your king enter.
Master, I find these strangers at a gate to beg an audience. What is this?
I'm sorry. Some strange, random fraud, king under the mountain. I have returned.
What means this? Who are these creatures? I think they are prisoners of the elven king that have now escaped.
It is true that we were wrongly imprisoned by the elves, but neither fault nor bard will hinder the homecoming spoken of all. Nor is this pine cup of the elven king's realm, but one of the dwarf's ancient kingdom, which now I claim.
He speaks truly. Thor is the king before smoke destroyed the old tower. Our king has come!
Yay! Then down shall be avenged. The sooner these dwarfs leave, the better. Let them go and annoy Smog. They'll soon see what he's like. Sire, people of the Lake Town will gladly provide us all we need to defeat the Smog. But first, you must eat, rest, and enjoy the hospitality